All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. I hope the world's still here and it hasn't been vaporized. The way things are going right now, let me bring on some of our teammates here. Hesher, Brian McLean, host of the Boiler Room, captain of the ship at ACR, the Starship Alternate Current Radio, and Ruckus, Adam Clark. You guys love the themes. I mean, your graphics. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. It looks good. It looks really good. Guys, I don't know how long we have for Overdrive because I know you guys got to get moving. So, but I what we've seen over the last week in terms of information warfare and propaganda, I've never seen anything like it, guys. I've never seen anything like it. And I had to do that deep dive. And I could have done a 10-hour seminar breaking down all of the different propaganda videos and debunking everything. It's so unbelievable. I want to get your just reactions and how you feel about what's been going on this week, specifically on this subject. Hesher, go ahead.
Well, I had to make I use the focus settings on my phone, my iPhone, right? So like I have certain times of day picked out where it's like, don't mess with me. And it's usually between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. I'm chilling. I don't want to see geopolitical news, etc. But I do have it set to turn off at 2 a.m. and I'm a night owl. So at 2 a.m., all the notifications that would have come between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. fly in. So if I'm up at 2 a.m., which I have been this week, man, that 2 a.m. flood is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I can't even, it's hard to describe, people that haven't been dipping themselves in the toxic stew of social media, especially, news-oriented social media until the last 5 years or so have no idea. You have no idea just how insane what we're seeing right now is compared to pretty much everything else. I had to put it back on Do Not Disturb at about, I'd say 5 minutes after 2 a.m. because it was just like, no, I don't want to look through, 5 hours, 6 hours of propaganda. Only just 6, I blocked out 6 hours of my day hoping I could chill. And it's just like, okay, this is untenable. This for people that are absorbing this 24/7 and are latched on to, this narrative or that narrative because it gels with their identity politic, their mid IQ identity politic at best. Wow. What an onslaught. I mean, it's impressive. Talk about shock and awe.
Just to be clear, Hesher, you're not following any of the accounts that are serving you up this propaganda. It's literally being force-fed. Is that correct?
Yes. I have one account that I follow like that just because it's my bellwether, it's my benchmark, and it's, I don't even know if I should shout him out. Why not? It's Mario. I follow Mario with notifications on just so that I can get a blip of like the most insane talking points that are coming out. And oh man, that's painful. That's painful.
Did you see the chemical weapons? I mean, did you catch that when that came out? I mean, yeah. I just thought, wow, you guys are desperate at this point.
Me too. I'm like, when are the incubator babies rolling out? I mean, we got the roving rape terrorists now, grape terrorists, I guess, YouTube, sorry.
Mass rape? I heard that. Mass rape now. Suddenly the Iranians are doing mass rape. Ruckus, where are you at with this? I mean, I've never seen anything like it. This even, I think, blows away the Israeli October 7th wave of, propaganda.
Okay, on the level of propaganda, I agree 100%. And to Hesher's point, I've seen a lot of it on my X feed too. And it's mostly because people, for some strange reason that I follow, are reposting it. So I'm just like, again, do I have to sit here and sift through who I'm following just so I don't have to see what they're reposting? Because yeah, for some time now, there's a lot of people and accounts that I've purposely not followed and have unfollowed. But again, I still have to see it. It's wild. And then even when I don't see it, it's like a lot of the quote unquote news or the alternative media, they're not even reporting news. They're just reporting or sourcing these tweets from these same people that, again, I'm like, I don't want to see all this crap. So what the hell is happening? So, but the wave of it, the amount of it, the ridiculousness of it, and And again, I'm like, I thought we weren't doing this kind of stuff, right? Trump, I mean, geez, I mean, it's starting to look like, Patrick, it looks like it's very easy to predict what Trump is going to do next, i.e. every single thing opposite to what he said that he was going to do, because I thought we were not doing the regime change thing, right? But yet here we are. And another astonishing thing to me is the way that the public here in the United States of America has perceived protesters has shifted again to this argument between peaceful protesters and rioters, and now armed terrorists in Iran. The armed terrorists, literally armed terrorists, setting fires to buildings and killing people and shooting nurses and attacking hospitals and schools and fun stuff like that, funded and armed by the Western outfits, the usual suspects. Those are peaceful protesters. Yet here in the United States of America, it doesn't take much to get labeled as a terrorist. Oh, say as a recent example, getting shot 3 times in the face by a trigger-happy murderous thug will do it, or making comments like what I just did on programs such as this, because we all know we've all been on a list for quite a while just because we speak our minds. But yeah, there's a giant disconnect here between what is truly a protest and what isn't. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And have you guys seen they're trying to drive a wedge, saying, where are all these pro-Palestinian protesters? Why aren't they standing up for the human rights of the people in Iran? Is it because they're anti-Semitic and all they care about is hating on Israel? I mean, all that divisive, manipulative kind of politics they're pushing out through all these influencer videos. And but always pushing the narrative that these are embryonic democracy green shoots in Iran, and this basically it's like it's like the civil rights movement in the 60s in America, and they just want to move to the front of the bus, kind of thing. It's ridiculous. This is a absolute cut and dried template color revolution. I mean, this is like we've seen it so many times. This reminds me a lot like Maidan in terms of how that shows you how you can set up crossfire and no one knows who shot who, and then all of a sudden the images get beamed out into global media. Boom, you got a narrative. Government must go.
Remind me the name of the documentary about the Maidan?
Ukraine on Fire. That's one of them.
Yeah, Ukraine on Fire, and then there was another one. Ukraine on Fire is Stones, right?
Yeah, that's Igor Lepotinak, actually.
Yeah,
He was
okay.
the director, but Oliver Stone, he made it with Oliver. Yeah.
Okay, and there was another one. It was perhaps a little bit lower budget. It was in the Sunday screening for a while. Ruckus and I watched it a couple years back. I forget the name of it, but it's in the Sunday screening archives. And I highly, highly recommend that folks watch that. Especially I really liked your opening monologue when you were kind of showing the cycle, right? Like you were showing the traditional game plan, the regime change game plan, and then you added the layer that, is the technocratic layer, that cybernetic feedback loop there with X and Elon, the circular. Yeah, that one right there.
Yep.
Like if you really are new to this, if geopolitics have not been your bag, but maybe you've just been doing it 5 years. Let's just say COVID. There's a hypothetical viewer out there that was, sort of just, normieing along until COVID, and then boom, they got interested in stuff, and now they're in the geopolitics. They're watching Sunday Wire. But they may not have been with us for the last 10 or 15 years and have that cycle, the cycle of regime change and color revolution, Central Intelligence Agency, Mossad, MI5. We've seen all these things before, and we've talked about them before for many years. So for a lot of us, it's inherent. It's ingrained. It's just part of the worldview scaffolding right now. But for a lot of you, it's not, and that's understandable. It's confusing. It's not that you're stupid or unable to comprehend it. It's just that we're being flooded. We're being dipped in various toxic narratives here that are meant to pull you in one direction or another based on your base level identity politic. And if you really want to study this, you can do it pretty quickly just by watching a couple of those documentaries. And I hate to be one of those people that say, watch this documentary, it'll change your mind. It's never that simple. It's never that simple. But it's a great example of on the ground. Yes, that one, Burnt Alive in Odessa, 2021, for you audio listeners out there. Look that up at 21stcenturywire.com in the search bar. And you can get a really on the ground sort of perspective of just how chaotic and confusing these events are when they go down. And how also how polarizing they are, how horrific they are, how they draw you in or repulse you away with the narrative. You know, it's really enlightening to kind of watch this and see how it was done in Ukraine. And that laid the groundwork and sowed the seeds for what we're seeing in Ukraine now. And when you think about that, I mean, you know, by many estimates, it's more than 1 million people have been killed in a war, you know, that started sort of with this event. This was at the very least a benchmark event that led to what we see now. And we were around, you know, within not long after that saying, hey, I think this is wrong. You know, I remember the first time I started, you know, the hypothetical viewer I'm describing, that was me. That was me a long time ago. And that was right when I met Patrick, or, you know, shortly thereafter, and worked with him and watched, you know, multiple Sunday Wires about Ukraine and about the what happened in Maidan and at that building there that's shown in that documentary. And it is supremely enlightening. Like, you really start to realize just how far global powers will go to do regime change, and how they do not care who it hurts, who it destroys, who it kills, how long the austerity lasts, any of that. They don't care about people. They don't care about people in Ukraine. They don't care about people in Palestine. They don't care about people in Iran. It's all about money and power and the global grand chessboard.
If Ruckus, if you can put that back up on screen for a moment. So I know the film. I worked with that film production company, and we did the MH17 investigation. I was meant to fly out to Donbass. That was when it was Ukraine, and COVID happened. So I was getting ready to go, and then the lockdown happened. So we didn't finish making the sequel to that film about MH17, but they made this, Burned Alive in Odessa, which was released in 2021. Let me bring that back. So the survivor of this, I met one of the survivors, and he fled to Germany. Okay, he escaped the building, you guys, and the people that jumped out, the Nazis, U.S.-backed Nazis, set the trades union building on fire with people inside it, and those who jumped out of the first or second floor were then beaten with clubs by these Nazis. Imagine jumping from a burning building, then beaten on the ground. You're already hurt after jumping. And I met one of the survivors, and he was sanctioned by the EU. Sanctioned. Because he went against Zelensky. A survivor of this massacre was sanctioned because he went against the narrative of Europe. Can you believe that? His name's Oleg. I met him at the MH17 conference, press conference during the trial in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. I was there. I moderated a panel discussion on that in 2020, early 2020. And Oleg, I mean, imagine that. He can't go back home. He can't go back to his country. The great democracy of Ukraine, right? That's the reality of it. If people knew and understood this, it's a joke. The whole narrative that they've created on Ukraine is a joke. So I did this kind of step-by-step here. This is 12 steps to where we are, just to give people an understanding of how it rolled out. And you can go a lot deeper than this, obviously, but you know, that if you missed any of this, it's in the first hour or first 90 minutes. And just so people understand.
True story, Patrick. I was listening to that part only as I was getting ready and whatnot, so I wasn't paying attention to the screen. And as soon as you started listing out this process, I was all, "Oh, the only thing that's missing are the chemical weapons attack." And I laughed out loud. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, he's got to be kidding. And no, seriously, they went there. So yeah, I mean, it's just so many of these telltale signs. It's really brilliant that you laid it out like that in a slideshow digestible format. That was brilliant.
You can't make it up. And there it is. There's the chemical weapons, you guys. So it could be tear gas, and they're saying it's unconfirmed. It might be. Source, Basil the Great. It's like a sock puppet account, one of Elon's favorite accounts, Basil the Great. You know, I mean, not verified, but if true, yeah, source. And I showed you the GB News clip, you guys. I mean, talk about clown world. These guys make Fox look like a serious media journalistic outlet. GB News. What a bunch of clowns.
One thing I love about high tension geopolitical moments like this and torrents of propaganda is just the emperor wearing no clothes at the mainstream news sites, you know, especially whichever outlets support the current administration. It's so funny watching them try to double down on the most ridiculous imperialist evil crap you could ever imagine.
Look at this. Prisons reportedly overcrowded with detainees. Well, yeah, if you send in 100 armed thugs to kill people, the prisons are going to get overcrowded, just to let you know. It's going to happen. So they just thought that the Iranians would just fold. So anyway, it's insane, you guys. It really is crazy. Let's look at, let's see what our mob are saying here. Yeah, I was talking about Odessa. Yeah, well, don't use the word Holocaust. We might get, that might trigger the ADL's AI. Yeah, tear gas technically is a chemical weapon. I've been in a tear gas attack, you guys. It's not pleasant. It's not, it hurts. It really, really hurts. You can't breathe. Your throat swells up. So,
but did you die days later?
Then it could only be Skripal and Novichok if it's a delayed chemical.
Didn't they make the same argument about one of the U.S. Capitol officers in the J6 thing or something like that? I could have swore something.
Yeah, something like that. There was that. Yeah, delayed. Yeah, it was Brian Sitnick. If I'm not mistaken.
he had a heart attack like 2 days later, and they tried to blame it on the protest / whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's not serious. It's that sort of BS. Get Mariana Spring on the case. Yep, BBC Verify. So thanks CBS, X, and Starlink. Your truth will free me from thinking, says Martin Maher, 1965. You guys are so on it. Yep. The Shah and Savak were like beloved. That Savak is the Shah's secret police. They're sort of like the Stasi in East Germany, trained by the U.S. and trained by the Israelis, believe it or not. The secret police in Iran, the brutal secret police, were trained by the Israelis. Hello, why do you think there was a revolution in 1979? The people had enough of it. But don't tell that to Reza Pahlavi, the good king. He's waiting for a donkey to take him into Tehran. Oh, how far we fallen, says the cunning linguistic. It's a very, very questionable profile name, I just want to say. So what do you guys think of Lindsey Graham? Has really had an emotional roller coaster of a week. What do you think? He had to go flee to Tel Aviv.
He prematurely eradicated.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a bit early for him to go to Tel Aviv because Pride Month is in June, isn't it? Anyway, just saying.
He needs like attaboy trips, I think. You know, if anything goes wrong in his little political Zionist life, it's like he has to run back to the homeland and, you know, get his little Scooby snacks or whatever they give him over there that keeps him going.
So Jill Braham 8202 saying Lindsey Graham has NBPTSD. That's non-bombing post-traumatic stress syndrome. That's pretty much it. They pretty much nailed that. That's basically what it was. I've never seen him so deflated. Did you guys
just dejected. That footage was hilarious.
We
Spore
have to
and I
watch
were
that again.
cracking
We have to
up.
watch that again. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never seen Lindsey. You saw what a high he was on when the bombs were dropping on Venezuela, and then Trump said he was going to take on in the Iranian protests. He literally, I don't want to say it, I don't want to get lurid on air, but he was overly excited, let's just say. There he is.
Headlines out there that are, in my view, not accurate. President Trump's resolve is not the question. The question is, when we do an operation like this, should it be bigger or smaller? I'm in the camp of bigger.
Lindsey likes it bigger.
I'll just pause it there, you guys, right there.
Yeah, the Beavis and Butthead in me can't get out of that connotation of what he might be implying there about what he likes bigger. I don't like it. It makes me sick.
He looks like he's coming down off a 2-day bender. I mean, he does drink, doesn't he? I heard he does drink.
So is this before or after he went to Israel? Is this the Israel hangover?
Well, you got to pronounce it like Lindsey Hesher. It's Israel.
Israel. Is this the Israel hangover?
Israel. This is before Israel. So I think they wanted to lift his spirits and, the clubs and all the fun entertainment that he can enjoy in Tel Aviv. Being a very liberal city, Lindsey, it lifted his spirits, and he came back with a bounce in his step. If you saw him when he arrived back, he was a bunch better. He was a more happier Lindsey. And so BB looked after him. They know what Lindsey likes. Let's just put it that way. That's
He
what those
replaced
trips
the
to Israel.
batteries in his toy that he likes that he picked up from Rabbi Shmuley's company.
Oh, did you see Rabbi Shmuley's Iran videos?
I did. I saw one of them. It was great. It was great. What a comedian.
But he's dead serious, though. You're laughing at it. We're laughing at it. But for Shmuley, this is like, oh my gosh. Do you think he did that
need
for
7,000? Yeah, I was going to say he doesn't need to take money to do that. He likes doing that.
So we'll drop Lindsey there. I mean, I've never seen him that deflated. So yeah, definitely the airstrike was off. You could tell. I know we sanctioned you for 20 years, but you need to have spacious prisons, says Penhog 2207. Yeah, that's true. It's just such a clown show. Wow. America was founded on people oh, look at this. America was founded on people fleeing religion. People forget that. Yes, so true. The Mayflower was full of religious zealots and people who were, and Quakers who, yep. So let me see what else is going on here in the chats. So, chat, you guys, the people of Tehran, oof, I like this. Rupert Fellows. The people in Tehran aren't getting any of Newland's cookies. It's not that type of event, Rupert. Clearly, Victoria and her bag of Mrs. Fields. Those were the good old days. Cookies, and then the bullets flew. Who knew?
Now the ex-posts fly.
Yeah. Yeah, the propaganda. I mean, and there's just, oh God, it's like the Los Angeles, and here's this one guy of this. Yeah, this is a classic. Let's just say this is more of a sort of flamboyant appeal. I'll just put it that way. And we'll bring this up here. This guy should get he's in Los Angeles. He's a concerned Iranian in LA. He definitely deserves some cookies from Victoria. Here, let's bring him up on screen. I mean, he is really passionate, you guys. He's made many videos like this. We'll just play this here. His name is Matthew Noriel. So I don't think he's ever been to Iran, but he's Iranian, and he definitely wants regime change.
The anti-Israel crowd is suddenly outraged because Israeli officials have insinuated that they may be helping arm Iranians in their fight against the regime. That's what you're mad about? Not the 12 to 15,000 unarmed civilians who were slaughtered in the span of 5 days? Not the people massacred with military-grade weapons just for demanding the same basic rights you take for granted and abuse every day? If you actually cared about the Iranian people, about a very real and popular uprising against a brutal supremacist regime, you'd be grateful that anyone is willing to stand with them. But you don't actually care about Iranians. And for those of you who are Iranian and still pushing this garbage propaganda, you're a fucking disgrace. You care more about hating Israel than you care about the Iranian people or their very real struggle for liberation. And
So you see, he's trying to put the wedge in between Palestinian supporters. So would you guys be surprised if you scrolled down his feed and you found Drag Queen Story Hour? Just saying. Yeah.
I would expect it.
Yeah, that is this guy. That is this guy, just to be clear. But so they do tap a certain type of people in the West to support the overthrow of the Iranian government and Syrian government. And they play the LGBT card hard. And that's why you see the saying, oh, this isn't safe for gays, because the Iranians are throwing them off the buildings. They said this about Gaza and Hamas. No gays have been thrown off buildings in Palestine. I can tell you that. It's never happened. But this is how the West mobilizes demographics to do activism based on identity politics and social justice themes and so forth. This is just one example. So, I mean, he claims to speak for the Iranians. But listen, Iran's a conservative country. You know, like a lot of Middle Eastern countries, they're very conservative. Venezuela is very conservative. They don't like Drag Queen Story Hour in Venezuela. It's a very conservative Christian country. So even gay marriage is not officially legal in Venezuela. Hence, the globalists do not like those types of places. George Soros definitely doesn't like them. But somehow Trump wants to Trump supposedly is a conservative and is anti-woke, but he wants to overthrow the most anti-woke government in South America, which is Venezuela. Try to make that, square that circle for me, please.
Hey, Patrick, did you happen to catch I saw these posts going around. People are catching on to James Lee's technique of, watching Google Trends for certain things and kind of trying to, back search or front search something that has happened or is about to happen. I noticed this week when we were in our back chat the other night, a few nights ago, and I noticed that. Oh gosh, what was I going to say? I totally lost my train of thought. I'll get back to you on that. I saw something in there where I was like, wait a minute, what the heck? Oh, no. I'll get back to you. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find it.
James Lee, Google search. Was there?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's what it was. So somebody was searching the attendance at the gay bars in Washington, D.C., and noting that the nighttime attendance at the gay bars in DC had completely dipped, and people were starting to bet that a strike was going to happen in Iran because so many people that work in the government are gay. And the fact that the gay bars had a low attendance that night, people were using as a metric to go, oh, something's about to happen.
Wow. Who did that analysis?
I don't know. I'll see if I can find it. I'll link it to you.
That's some 5D chess right there, yeah. Bro.
That's Grok expert mode, probably. I don't know, man. Grok expert mode.
I mean, that kind of that's real logistical, makes sense, actually. Logically, it does make sense. So yeah, that's useful AI action there. Here, programs seem to be a feature of the empire and not a bug. There's a Greek word that beings with H that means sacrifice by fire. Just saying. Okay. Yes. Duly noted. Eat your groceries. Well, there's a lot of Lindsey Graham stuff coming in here. And Lindsey Graham is now on antidepressants and then some. Let's not pick on Lindsey, you guys. Again, look at all this just absolutely tearing Lindsey apart. Lindsey was so close to climax, but oh my goodness, I cannot. This is just a family show, you guys. Stop it. Lindsey's doctor told him he had ED. You guys, come on. Just let's get to some serious political. If you've got a political comment on Lindsey, Has he been crying? Probably in private. You guys looked like he was bawling that the airstrike was called off. What do you think?
Yeah, it did. That sigh that he let out there in the beginning of that statement that you played is so telling.
Trump probably said, "Look, Lindsay, it's going to be okay. Look, BB's sending over the jet. You're going to Tel Aviv for the weekend." He immediately perked up, and his cheeks went rosy, and he was so excited. He was bragging on social media. I'm stepping onto the plane, and then another tweet. I'm in the plane flying, and then I've just gotten off the plane. He did a whole series of tweets about his weekend in Tel Aviv. So good for Lindsay. He looked like he was really stressed out that there wasn't a war on. So we're happy for him, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, I know you're doing the comments, but I thought this was very important to bring to your attention in case you missed it. Did you see this or hear this report that's allegedly out there about how, lo and behold, oh no, Trump may have secretly suffered a stroke? We've been, dancing about the issue about whether or not he's mentis compass, as it were, mentally fit and ready to be doing what he's doing, So I was just curious if you had heard anything about that.
Yes. I hadn't heard anything about that specific story. I saw some other crazy stuff, which I didn't put in my first hour, but here, this is a person here, Marianne. I'm a Muslim woman, and no way that Muslims will burn their mosques. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. So these weren't Iranians, clearly. They were from the outside. Yes, Ruckus. Having said that, Ruckus, I have a clip from Trump, and I want to bring it up on screen. He looked really, really not well. And this was right after, during the Iran, when the Iran thing was going on. Oh my gosh, Photon Belt. Laura Looper's surgeon will cheer him up. Oof. Yes, I know. There is that. We won't go there. But so here's this clip, you guys. Just take a look at Trump and tell me if you think that he's sort of lagging pretty hard on this.
Election in Venezuela.
Did Arab and Israeli officials convince you to not strike Iran?
Nobody convinced me. I convinced myself.
But the hair, he's just kind of looking like a haggard old man at this point. And he's, I don't know. I don't think he's doing that well. He is 80 years old, guys. So like Biden, it's basically 80. Some people are spry and have a spring in their step at 80, but Trump doesn't appear to, and neither did Joe Biden as well. So, yeah, we're still in the era of geriatric heads of state in the U.S. But I don't think the answer to that is putting in a 41-year-old like J.D. Vance in charge, who is basically a kid for all intents and purposes.
Do you think that's the plan moving forward, though? Is this the last octogenarian president because it's just not going to fly with the majority of voters anymore?
Yeah, geriocracy. Yeah, gerontocracy. Yeah, you got it, Kim. You got it. Oh my gosh, look at that PFP. That's scary. Looks like The Mask. Remember The Mask?
Yep.
With Cher, starring Cher, and yeah,
absolutely.
I have no idea who that picture is, you guys. I don't know. I've never seen that before. That resemblance of that PFP there, Kim Jong Billy. It's very, very scary, though. It's very, very scary. So yeah, Trump is not looking. He's looking worse for wear, you guys. He's looking worse for wear. Donald's not looking good. Not looking good. So anyway, he should be on a high anyway. He's been bombing, invading, kidnapping. Domestically, you guys, he's wanting to mobilize troops, federalizing the National Guard. How do you think that's going to end up? Probably more social. Did you see the crowds are getting quite rambunctious in Minnesota? Quite rambunctious. And what did you expect What did you expect? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, easy to predict. So easy to predict. One must ask, is this on purpose?
Yep. Trump strokes out. J.D. Vance takes over. Well, that's what Eat Your Groceries is saying. Trump strokes out. J.D. Vance takes over.
Patrick, there was like an ICE agent's vehicle that was recently raided. Did you see that? And they stole a bunch of their documents and doxed some people, but they took a rifle and all sorts of equipment and things like that. And immediately the response from the conservative media, not even from people inside the government, was Trump needs to do the Insurrection Act. So we had folks here clamoring for that, which probably
and he's threatening to do that. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
So,
Trump said he wants to invoke the Insurrection Act. So, but that's okay. We're actually stoking an actual insurrection in Iran with sending in armed battalions.
Yeah, hoping for one in Venezuela, hoping for armed insurrections all over the place, fomenting them, sending money, sending intel, sending weapons, training people. This is just like, again, open imperialism, open empire, just, showing us what they're doing, who they're doing it with, what their plans are, Riviera on the Gaza Strip, all this crap. It's just like, wow, you guys, thanks. At least we're honest now. At least we're somewhat honest. I mean, the propaganda's still flying, but if you can peel through a few layers of it, hey, we're doing imperialism. We're doing brutal, technocratic, global imperialism.
Here's the Caesar theme or the Caligula theme, whichever the case may be. It's definitely a Caesar moment, Ruckus. And so just eat your groceries. The rest of his comments, interesting, you guys. J.D. Vance takes over. Palantir has their president. I'm going to take that a step further, gentlemen, that Palantir becomes president. You know what I mean? We're in a full technocratic government there. Barron takes over after Vance's third term. That's the idiocracy right there. That's Mountain Dew watering the crops and President Camacho at that point, right? Podcast president, Barron Trump.
Yeah, I worry, obviously Trump's not going to last much, throughout the whole thing, I don't think, but we'll see. But yeah, Vance as an option. But I mean, the way things are going, it's almost like Trump wants to be the one to usher in he keeps talking about, he says it in these conversations about people not voting ever again. So I'm just like, I think he wants to be the one to institute the technocracy, to have the AI run government, not so much Vance. Maybe Vance this whole time is some sort of red herring. I don't know. We'll see.
T.G. Wilson, AI senators in 10 years. Dr. Theopolis. The Council of Elders.
Why not?
AI.
Yeah.
People would go for it. At this rate, I think people would go for it. Everyone's just checked out intellectually. It's kind of getting to the point where it's getting scary how disinterested people are in the truth. Have you noticed this?
Oh yeah. That's the thing. So many people have told me I just can't do this. I can't. I'm checking out. I don't care anymore. There's nothing I can do to change it. I mean, even people that have been, in our circle for many, many years are like, you know what? I'm out. This is just too much clown for me. Like, what's the point?
Trump has slapped NATO with 10% tariffs this weekend until they sell him Greenland. Now, you'd laugh at that, wouldn't you? A while back, not so long ago, maybe a couple months ago, you'd say that's crazy, or a year ago. That's actually happening. This is, we are in very strange territory. As Jon Stewart said, he said, well, I'm taking it because China and Russia are going to take it if I don't take it. And listen, Jon Stewart, God love him, he's back now because these people have made their bones against the Bush administration. So they're all those comedians are back. The Onion's relevant now. And Jon Stewart said, hey, I got an idea. If you want to keep it out of Russia and China's hands, why don't we do an alliance, a North Atlantic alliance? Why don't we call it the North Atlantic Treaty Alliance? We all band together, and that way Greenland will be safe. Why do you need to take it? Well, they need to take it for other reasons because of the rare earths. They want to do AI data centers up there, geothermal heating. Ronald Lauder, Estee Lauder Air wants it. He's already got dibs on mining stocks, and he told Trump to buy Greenland in his first term. That's where it came from. Billionaire Ronald Lauder, who happens to be president of the World Jewish Congress, but that's just a total coincidence. It has nothing to do with anything. There's no conspiracy there.
Of course.
Did you guys see Gavin Newsom do a podcast with Ben Shapiro?
I don't know if I saw that one. Was that this week or was that
the last couple of days? Yeah.
Thank God I missed it.
Newsom has his own podcast with a neon light. I mean, that's not weird, isn't it? The governor of California.
Yeah. And he appears on the Sean Ryan show early on in his little production to sort of boost it. How sick is that? Sean Ryan, what a shill, what a D-bag, what a loser. I mean, goodness gracious, to bring one of the top 5 most anti-2A governors in the entire country and put him on your silly CIA podcast, talking to you, Sean Ryan, and give him a Sig Sauer pistol and then have a chatty little jokey talk about how, maybe he can and maybe he can't carry it in the state that he governs, and then let that guy sit there and say he's pro-gun. You are a idiot, and you are the worst, man. And on top of that, I don't know if you caught this, Patrick, but the person that came to fame on his show, our favorite CIA agent or right? Wink, wink, CIA agent Sarah Adams has her own podcast now. Yeah.
What's that? She got her own podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So warning against Hamas cells, sleeper cells in America.
Oh, yeah. All that. And she's engaging in the Iran stuff this week, too.
You guys, I think and listen, you see Photon down here? You see that? We're not far from that.
They're seeding it. They're telling us they're going to do this too. They're basically telling us it's coming.
That will be the perfect distraction, an alien disclosure. There'll be a perfect distraction for an economic collapse and a currency reset, something crazy. Everyone will be poor, but they'll be like, "Oh, I'm poor, but the aliens, the aliens."
I'm poor, but the aliens dropped me a new VR headset that I can sit in my little coom pod and watch VR porn on. That's all I'm going to do. The rest of my life is collect UBI coins and take drone drops from the aliens as long as I stay in my house and behave.
Yep, we're in the era of privatized global currency wars. The same oligarchs are controlling us and shifting their power to the east. Yes, they may even liquidate Israel. That's not out of the realms of possibility, although Pax Judaica, the Greater Israel Project, seems to be in full swing. But the rug could be pulled on that. Here we go. Will Project Bluebeam be aliens or the Antichrist? It is kind of wrapped up in that question, actually, with the technology that's available. You could do a massive drone swarm and have God talking. I mean, I've seen the stuff in China they're doing with the drones, and it looks pretty crazy.
I think the original origin of the Project Bluebeam theory involves the faking of a second coming of Christ. Yeah, 100%. And then the alien stuff, I don't know how that got all worked in there along the way. But for the longest time, there are people who, like me, who suspect that they're going to fake an alien invasion. I still believe they're going to do that, that they have access. We, human beings, have access to technology that we're just not aware of, because things are, depending on who you talk to. And this is coming from people who work inside of these industries, for former people inside of NASA, CIA, military, you name it, and they're all like, yeah, no, we're 50 years ahead of what the public knows. And like, you use your imagination and you learn about what they were doing post World War II, and the nasties who then became scientists, and magically now we can fly to the moon, look at that, weird stuff like that. But anyways, we all know space is fake and the earth is flat, right?
Incoming, you guys, incoming. Get your fire suit, get your helmets on here. Yeah, LOL in advance. Right there, guys. Soon, headline will be, God promises the U.S. to aliens 3,000 years ago. Be careful what you wish for, boys and girls. That's it. The aliens just show up and say, it's in our scripture. Here's our Bible. God promised us this country. You have to give it, you know.
As crazy as that sounds, interestingly enough, a lot of these geopolitical hotspots, including you were bringing up Patagonia, Patrick, I don't know if you're aware of this, they just made a recent archaeological discovery that is just quite fascinating, involving some sort of demonic Nephilim giant. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So there's always these weird things that are going on, and there's been a long-running conspiracy theory in some circles that a lot of our military actions in certain areas of the world, in particular the Middle East, they're planting evidence that they're going to bring forward later to say, oh, look, we, the aliens, created you, and that God is fake, and there was no all sorts of bizarre stuff like that. That, again, I'm like, why do these military things always take place right around these weird places? I don't get it. But I mean, just putting it out there for the tinfoil hat wearers, my fellow tinfoil hat wearers, of course.
If they announced alien life, would the markets crash? Probably.
Somebody would have a decent bet on Polymarket, I'm sure.
Ooh, that's just, I can't stand that thing. It's just so corrupt.
It's so crazy, man. Like, I can't believe how many people are betting on these things. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, people have a hard time with gambling. It's inherent in human nature. There's, you know, adrenaline and oxytocin and all kind of, you know, chemical dumps associated with gambling. And, you know, that's one of the reasons gambling is so highly regulated in the United States. Of course, the primary reason being, you know, that mobsters and the CIA want to control it and be the, you know, make the lion's share of the money and be in charge of all the black markets that circle around it. But overall, you know, as a country, we've been pretty tight about gambling. There are sanctioned locations where you can do it. You know, you want to do it, go to Atlantic City, go to Tahoe, go to, you know, Vegas, et cetera, et cetera. But now it's like, you know, we live in this small town in Central Texas here, and it's like we see people all over the place making bets and talking about making bets on their phones. I mean, given most of it is sports related, but a lot of it's like these, you know, newer outlets like Ruckus is talking about, these platforms where we're seeing these, you know, unrealistic, absurd bets that are paying off and making everybody scratch their heads and go, sorry, that's really sus. Like, you have insider information and there's no repercussion for it. Like, you do that on Wall Street and you're the wrong person, you're going to have a problem. You do that on your, you know, your 1099s or whatever, you're going to have a problem. But in here, it's like it's just almost being done or allowed. It's like it's been allowed to open up into another cybernetic feedback loop that puts people in the mindset, that brings people into the mindset that maybe didn't know they had or were susceptible, you know, at a, you know, human level to the, you know, highs and lows of gambling. Now they can just do it 24/7 on the most ridiculous things or, you know, mundane things or whatever.
Regime change.
Yeah.
If you're in the Pentagon or you're in the Trump White House, or then someone made $400,000 off of Maduro's removal. So that was clearly someone in the Trump administration or who knew somebody, maybe the spouse or who knows. But it's corrupt.
And there's a flood of bets right now that by the end of the month, by the 31st, that the Iranian regime will be done. And it's like, that's kind of a no-brainer bet, considering all the propaganda that everybody's been, you know, force-fed over the last few weeks. So it's like the people that do make big money on that, they have a smokescreen around them of a ton of people who are just piggybacking on it and going, oh, you know, I'll put 50 on that. All of a sudden there's, you know, millions of people that have $50, and then, you know, a handful of people that have, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on it.
Also, there's a mind-blowing amount of real-time data being collected here. I mean, they find polls very valuable in order to know how we can then nudge, oh, we're going wrong here because not enough people, we haven't manufactured enough consent. I believe strongly they're using these newfangled poly markets in Kalshi to manufacture consent for all sorts of crazy stuff, and know how to properly target individuals. And how maybe they could even, like, literally, by the way that they rig some of the betting, they could change some people's minds about things, not the other way around. I bet you there's some of that going on. And AI, could probably handle that kind of data and do that kind of mind effery and nudging in real time. And it just blows my mind. And I won't touch it. I'm not going to use it ever.
Listen, there's so much potential social engineering with all of this, and AI just brings another level of capacity to actually pull that off in real time. And there's all sorts of things that with advertising and algorithms that's already being done that does work, that does predict behavior. And you could really, this is just so bad for government, politics, for society. You can't bet on politics. It just should be fully illegal, because the corruption on insider trading. It's because what if to get regime change in Iran, dropping a tactical nuke on Tehran or on a government building, and then what does that lead to? Nuclear war with Russia and China. And someone just made let's say they made like 10 million, a couple guys made 100 million or whatever on that bet. It's the level of depravity and corruption and the inhumane aspect of it is betting on regime change.
Right?
I don't really want World War III, but I got a lot of money riding on it.
Right? Like, imagine a bunch of people sitting around in a pub or a bar or something, right? And the news comes on and it's like, breaking tactical nuke has been dropped on Tehran, and everybody erupts into cheers, like their sports ball team just won, because they know that they bet on that. They're going to make a bunch of money on it. And it's like you use the word depravity, the depravity of that, just thinking of that scenario, someone winning money because they bet on a horrible, human atrocity, a crime against humanity, is really, it's no wonder people are walking away from the news, because, you take a thread, you pull it down to this level, and it's like, where is the humanity? I need to go outside.
So down the bottom here, Moffat Studios says, is the second coming of Trump, does it have anything to do with the other second coming? Now you're making a joke about this, but if, the QAnon thing, imagine if Trump ends up in the hospital or dies, or there's a rumor that he died, the Q is just going to go into hyperdrive, and that he's still alive and he's going to rise again and he's the Messiah. We're joking about this. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to get sucked down that road. And it's like, because there is a cult aspect to MAGA, and QAnon just made the crazy end of that cult almost legitimized by Michael Flynn and these people that were pushing QAnon, these so-called leaders, if you will. And it's going to be endless with Trump, because I personally think because he was marketed as this kind of savior, is clearly the opposite as we speak. He's about the closest thing to the Antichrist on the current scene at the moment. But let's not get into religious eschatological themes. But we could have that conversation maybe with other experts.
And he just got a street named after him in Florida.
Definitely get a street named after him in Tel Aviv. If there's anything left of Tel Aviv, because that might just get cooked, right? If they go down this road. Okay, here we go. This is fact. This is in the news, you guys. Ex-Bank of England analyst warns alien disclosure could spark financial crisis. Headline this weekend. That's true. That's a real headline. Ex-Bank of England analyst, though. That's quite a low-level title, It's a bit like, Undertaker.
Unverified, but if true, Patrick.
But if true, maybe check Mario's feed, you guys. Maybe he's running with this. It's probably good for clickbait. Mario, what are we going to do with that guy?
I don't know. I love the call outs though in the comments under his post these days, because it was like, after the Twitter files, people just thought he was, the bee's knees. And now it's like you start reading through the comments under one of his, most absurd posts, and you'll just see people flat out calling it out. They're like, hey, just another one of those people that followed you from the Spaces days, and now this is what you're doing, this kind of clickbait propaganda. Noted, stuff like that.
Yeah, the comments are brutal. He doesn't care, or whoever's operating his account. It's just
Right.
making money on Elon's system. Okay, 265 444. Baron Trump looks like Damien Thorne out of The Omen. No, Jared Kushner is a doppelganger for Damien Thorne. Have you guys put them side by side? The hair part, identical. That really freaked me out when Kushner arrived, and I thought, and there is something evil about Jared Kushner that it's not hard to put your finger on. Let's be honest. Yeah. So Barron's Barron will be about 7'6" by the time that happens.
Yeah, we suspect he's got just a hint of Nephilim blood.
A little bit, yeah. It is. No one's talking about the Epstein files and that tranche of emails. There's some very, very disturbing material in that, whether it's true or confirmed or not, especially about the current president.
Oh, you mean Danny Bongos isn't talking about that on his Rumble stream?
Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino. Now let's not get started there. Yeah. I don't think so. Lazarus Trump. Yeah, you guys, listen, I'm calling that. You know that's coming. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Epstein is probably drinking cocktails on the beach in Israel or somewhere, maybe New Zealand. We're not sure, but
I'm thinking Fiji. I think Fiji's probably where he's at.
yeah. And Charlie Kirk is probably also in witness protection somewhere. Maybe that's why they didn't do an autopsy or have an actual funeral ceremony at a cemetery. Maybe that's why. Who knows? But we're just crazy, aren't we, for even asking or positing such crazy alternative hypotheses.
Yeah, we don't even have to bother because pretty much the entirety of the internet is already working that one. So well done, people.
I mean, with Trump,
That's right.
miracles have been performed. I mean, lest we forget, you guys, Trump, the first human ever to have an ear grow back in 2 weeks. So he could be canonized by a church based on some of these recent miracles.
It was just the lobe. It heals fast.
That's right. I mean, that's actually probably not by accident. The fact that the mainstream media is completely out to lunch over the Epstein stuff because they're focused on the war stuff, and the alternative media is out to lunch over the war stuff because they're still talking about the Charlie Kirk stuff and the infighting with Candace and all of that stuff. So here we are stuck in the middle doing the reporting, right?
Look at this, you guys. Pat Trivers, Kalshi said they put Donald Trump Jr. on their board because of his expertise and influence. Is that true? He's on the board of Kalshi, a political betting. Okay, that's not sus at all, is it?
That's crazy because I think the other son is somehow involved with Polymarket, Eric.
Oof. They can't possibly be doing insider trading. I mean, I don't think none of the Trump administration. They're the paragon of virtue. Right.
So as of this article's posting out of CCN, which was August 27 last year, they say Donald Trump Jr. is joining Polymarket's advisory board as part of an investment deal with 1789 Capital, the venture capital firm he is a partner of. While in fitting with his interest in crypto, the move threatens to create a conflict of interest for Trump Jr., who is also an advisor for rival prediction market operator Kalshi. So that was the situation last summer.
So the same son is involved in both, Donald Jr. Okay.
That's great.
Coke or Pepsi? Which will it be, Coke or Pepsi?
Yeah.
Moderna or Pfizer? What's your choice? Left or right? Blue or
use
red?
AI to bring in aliens in the Antichrist to fool people. Yep, basically what we said before. Charlie Kirk. Some people believe Charlie Kirk was a holy figure, a prophet of sorts.
His show sits there still. His show sits there still, Pat. It is so cringy to tune in to Real America's Voice and watch the Charlie Kirk show. I've tried a few times. It is insane. I would love to see some real metrics, not fake metrics, some real metrics on their viewership pre and post September 10, 2025. Because man, if you're buying what they're selling, wow, you might want to unplug and go hang out outside.
Sorry, Hesher, we can't do that. But can I interest you in instead some conspiracy theories that suggest Charlie Kirk was a time traveler? Because there's that going around.
But I thought he was Superman. I guess Superman can travel time. If he flies backward around the Earth fast enough, he can spin time back. That's how he saved Lois Lane in the first movie. So, he's Superman. Bullets bounce off his collarbone, and large bore bullets bounce off his collarbone. And he can travel time. It's great. Maybe him and Barron Trump are time traveling buddies.
Yeah, that was Candace really got knocked for that comment. People made a meal out of it with their, here we go. Charlie Kirk traveled time so his wife could sell T-shirts at this funeral.
And a photo booth opportunity for where he was shot.
That's right. Shabbat shalom. Is there anyone creepier than Erica Kirk? Anyone?
Maybe
Peter
Lindsey
Thiel?
Graham?
Peter Thiel. I'll go with Peter Thiel.
Oof, that'd be a power couple, wouldn't it? Peter Thiel and Erica Kirk.
Larry
that would
Ellison.
be scary right there.
I heard a rumor that Erica Kirk was going to start dating Tom Brady. Is this true?
That would be a real step down for Tom Brady to go from Gisela Bündchen supermodel to somebody that has male hips. Let's face it. Have you seen the picture of Erica in the swimsuit? It's not very flattering. Women usually have a sort of shape, but she's just like straight down. Weird. Without the makeup, I don't know. She does have quite heavy makeup all the time on. Scary looking, actually.
It really drives it home when someone asks her a serious question and her only answer is, "Stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. Enough. Oh, geez. You guys are it's just getting pornographic now. Do you know Tom Brady broke up with his wife? Do you know who was the catalyst for that?
Taylor Swift.
Guess. It's not Epstein. Not that we know of. No, but close. Sam Bankman-Fried.
What? Pray tell, fill in the blank.
Someone lost a lot of money when what was it called? FTX?
Yeah.
They were sponsors and they got caught up in that.
They got paid in crypto.
Forgot about that.
They got paid in crypto. They all did. All the Steph Curry, Tom Brady. And apparently I think she was pissed off because he was up to his neck in FTX, Bankman-Fried. And I think they fell out over it because that's right after that they got divorced. So I think it was financial, personally. There's a lot of rumors and gossip that it was like because someone had an affair, but the FTX thing, the bottom fell out of that. A lot of people got burned, and they were famous, and famous people don't want to go public about how they got absolutely trousered by this scam artist. So I think it was that.
A
That's
scam
my
artist
theory.
working on at the behest of the DNC, whether he knew it or not, laundering money internationally to and from and back to Ukraine and back to the DNC. I mean, and now that you've sparked my memory on this, there was a list. An A list of stars, Hollywood stars, sports people, and business people that put their big amounts of their coin into FTX.
Yep. Yeah, I said PBD, Patrick Bet David, was supposedly alt media, military grade weapons. Not sure what you mean there, but he's not alt media. I saw him in an interview with Piers Morgan. He was just like told about 10 lies per 10 seconds. Couldn't even keep up with it. It would take you an hour to break down a 3-minute interview with these people. They're just firing the lies in, you know.
Oh, truly. And a lot of these people, like, you know, I used to watch clips from somewhat, you know, regularly before October 7. It's amazing how October 7, like, kind of, you know, the line that, you know, when that was the big fracturing line in MAGA. That was sort of the first strike, I think, you know, of the MAGA movement. It's just amazing how many people have, you know, taken the money, shown their colors, whatever, however you want to frame it, and are now just like these weird, like ghosts of internet past almost that are still living, but now propaganda mouthpiece.
Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. Here you go. Just so, here's Patrick Bet David, Valuetainment. Apparently was an insurance multi-level marketer salesman. That's how he made his money. MLM's totally legit, right, guys?
It's your first red flag, everybody.
Multi-level marketing. I'm so shocked. Color me shocked. I mean, someone made a funny comment on X about him. I think it was like the Armenian or Iranian community were pissed off because he wasn't supporting King Pahlavi hard enough. And he said, Patrick Bet David talks like a Coke dealer from Glendale. He went on an internet rant. It was on X. It's like it was hilarious. It was like it was Iranian versus Iranian, like infighting. But so here's PBD, and I mean, listen, you can't pack enough lies into a segment. It's hard to do, but yet this guy has like somehow done it. So this was on Piers Morgan here, and just we'll try to pause and keep up with it, but it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. Let's see. Let's crank this up. Patrick Bet David. He's really been on a tear. He's been on a jihad for Reza Pahlavi. He wants to get that king in there.
Supposed to be a grandmaster. Your number one move should be protect your border, not Ukraine. If you're saying let's worry about Ukraine, maybe it's number 9 on the list. It ain't number 1 above the border. That is the most ludicrous argument I would ever make.
Well, let me ask you this.
We have to take care of America
well, let me ask you this.
Then we take care of everybody else.
Why should America be supporting Israel then? That's thousands of miles away.
How much money are we giving to Israel?
Billions.
How much money are we giving Israel? I'm curious. Go ahead. I'm curious. Go ahead.
Oh,
are we sending troops over there? Are we sending missiles over there?
No, but
Are we sending missiles to Israel? Hello, Patrick Bet David.
Lots.
Like everything that they can shoot, we're sending over. Are we sending billions? Yeah. So Patrick Bet David is trying to make the argument that we're really not supporting Israel that much. Every single base that we have in the Middle East, Bahrain, Iraq, Diego Garcia, everything surrounding Djibouti, two bases inside Israel now, one in Sinai, plus 20 bases in Syria, plus Incirlik in Turkey, plus. It's all to protect Israel and Jordan, all of it, and Saudi Arabia and Qatar. It's all to defend Israel. So this guy, this hothead, honestly doesn't know what he's talking about.
How much money are we giving to Israel? I know the dome we've given it since 1945. America has $10 billion we've given to them. $3 billion is towards the dome.
Yeah.
How much?
What? So he's saying since 1945 we've only given $10 billion to Israel?
That's a lie.
That's the stupidest comment.
We gave more than that last year, man.
So he's meant to be a successful businessman who's like very good with numbers, and we've only given Israel $10 billion since 1945. Maybe he's just like talking out of his you know what, because he's on Piers Morgan and he's excited.
How much money are we giving them?
Billions of dollars.
Not comparable to what we've given to Ukraine in 12 months. 24.
Actually, no. In terms of emergency packages and funding and the arms, what we've given Israel is comparable within a 1-year window, especially since October 7th, 2023. So they've got a good chunk. In terms of pure cash, a lot of what we give Ukraine is tied up in arms, Lend-Lease type arrangements. So again, Patrick Bet David, these people get these huge platforms. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, maybe that's why they get the big platforms.
For months,
But
no way.
Isn't the
Not even close.
Isn't the principle the same? You're doing it to help them defend themselves.
No, it's not. The part with Israel is slightly different because it's both strategic, because there's only one country in Israel that has historically always been pro-America and has been an ally in the Middle East, and that's Israel. Iran's not been the case since the Shah, right? Saudi Arabia now with MBS, he's trying to...
What's he talking about? Saudi has always been a U.S. ally. The petrodollar, right? I mean, you can't get tighter relationship than that. We've got bases in Qatar. We got the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. This guy is completely off his rocker. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just it's just for entertainment purposes. Let's hear what he has to say.
To work and make progress to the point where Ronaldo, your friend, feels safe going out there with his family to play soccer there. These are good things that MBS and Saudi Arabia is doing. He's kind of doing what the Shah was doing back in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
MBS is like the Shah now. Okay. Like, what is he talking about? It's safe for Ronaldo to go play football there. But I can't. The argument he's making is that MBS is
I like what he's doing with Saudi Arabia. But Israel, to us, a part of it is also loyalty due to our faith, where we need that country, especially what America was founded on, Judeo-Christian. That's a
It wasn't. The term Judeo-Christian didn't exist when America was founded. This is a new invention. I mean, this guy is, what is this guy talking about? Patrick Bet-David.
A bit deeper than that. But with Ukraine, the guy's an opportunistic guy. Respect to him that's coming up to America, making everybody feel guilty and raising money. I salute him for being a great beggar and a great fundraiser.
I do agree with that, what he said about Zelensky there. That's about all I'm going to agree with this guy on, though. Anyway. Hey, but this is what Piers Morgan... I mean, I'm blocked by Piers Morgan, so this producer's not going to reach out to me. But
no, I wouldn't expect you to get an invite there. On my screen here, I've got a visual aid if you want, Patrick. This is pretty much all of the bases in the area. And if you look at Saudi Arabia there, it's like it is encircled with U.S. Air Force, U.S. Navy, and Army bases. And then there's the green ones, which are like logistics hubs, I think. So, you know, and some of those, like I'm zoomed out far enough that you can see basically all the way from like Greece to South Sudan here. But if I was to zoom in on Saudi Arabia, you'd notice that some of these bubbles would double up. They're like, you know, an Army base next to a Air Force base next to an Army base, and a logistics supply. There's tons of this stuff.
Yeah. And when the missiles started flying, you guys, all of that activated to create a defense shield for Israel. Okay, so then you could see what the U.S. presence was for. It's not to protect the oil, because the U.S. doesn't rely on Saudi Gulf oil. But yes, it is to keep or to control the energy markets to a degree. But we saw when missiles started flying, U.S. basically created a defense umbrella for Israel that extends from the Red Sea to Diego Garcia, north to Turkey, to the Mediterranean. It's massive, massive. So if you talk about aid, you have to include the cost of running all of those U.S. military assets in the region, because that's for Israel. That's to defend Israel. That should go to the bill for the cost. What is that cost in a year? That defense umbrella. That's not cheap. So that includes the naval assets, air assets, flying AWACS, rivets, all that. Seriously. If people knew. Anyway. Gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up, but it's been an interesting and crazy week, and we're not even talking about the markets. Gold and silver is just going crazy. That's not a good sign for the economy, because that means that heavy instability is afoot. So yes, we do have that as well. So it's all up in the air with Trump and with this administration, with what's going on. You know, somehow I just think that someone's juggling the wrong balls. That's what it feels like. Final thoughts, my esteemed colleagues.
Yeah, well, you know, the big question is, what is the end game? You know, what is the big thing that is going to actually affect you, you know, wherever you live? What is it? We outlined enough things in the, you know, strict geopolitical sense. We touched on a lot of things that exist in sort of the exopolitics realm, even the metaphysical today. So if you're familiar with the old Illuminati cards, right? Remember they had the card deck of Illuminati stuff, and it was like, you know, Project Bluebeam and all these different things. Many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You could quite literally take that deck right now and just shuffle it and throw 3 or 4 cards out and go, yeah, that one, that applies to current reality right now. This absurd future conspiracy oriented event, I actually see events going on right now that could lead to something like this. That's quite literally where we're at. So the big question is, when is it? What is it? And what's on the other side of it? So, you know, that's frightening and exciting at the same time. So I would like to see what it is, know what it is. At least I think I do. Even if it's crappy, I'd rather see what it is than just live in a strategy of tension, you know, and propaganda endlessly. So, you know, I may regret saying this, but let's get on with it, guys. Let's get on with it. Let's see what you got. And follow us at alternatecurrentradio.com. And there's a good chance that we'll be doing a live boiler room tonight. So get on over to YouTube, Rumble, and X. Follow myself and Ruckus and Patrick if you haven't yet. Join our Discord. There's an invite to our Discord at alternatecurrentradio.com in the upper right hamburger menu. If you're a Discord person, we'd love to have you in there. We've got quite literally a knowledge management and repository system and collaboration suite that we've built in there. Ruckus has put a lot of energy into making sure that our Discord is highly valuable and highly useful. It's got over, I think, 5 years now of articles and show posts and anything ACR, Sunday Wire, Boiler Room related, you can find in there. Not to mention over 500 of our good friends, viewers, and listeners and colleagues in there. So if you want to hang out, it's a great spot. It's not all black pill. We got a white pill spot for you. We got general chat. You know, you can just chill. Or you can get hardcore into the news articles if you like. You can drop suggestions. It's a good time. So that's how you find us. And thanks for having me, Patrick. Great opening monologue today. I think it really laid a good foundation for people, you know, who are trying to understand where we are at geopolitically right now. So once again, thanks for having me.
No, our pleasure. The end game is the holy hand grenade. Yeah.
There you go. And will it be tossed by an alien?
Now you're talking. Glad I found your show. Yeah, thank you. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Thank you, Hesher. Ruckus, your final thoughts before we set this one adrift.
Well, we've got a war on terror, which has failed. We've got a war on drugs, which has failed. I declare a war on propaganda. That's kind of what we do here. That's actually kind of what a small handful, albeit scattered throughout the interwebs and around the world, a handful, and I do mean, unfortunately, a diminishing handful of independent media, free thinkers, and content creators. You know who they are if you follow them and you like the work that they're doing, such as outlets like the one right here, but also out there in the world, people who are doing the work that you wish, like, man, why can't this one media outlet be like these people? Well, if you like those people, please support them. If you like what they're doing, send them some money, support them financially, share their show, send them a letter and let them know how much you appreciate what they're doing. You'd be surprised how much a little note coming from somebody via an email will go a long way in keeping them going, because in this industry, you get what you pay for. So we do appreciate very kindly and very muchly all of those who do support us, not just monetarily, but those who we'd get to meet in our Ruckus, Hesher just mentioned there, the Discord chat, of course. So please visit us there. Again, you can find that by going to our website, Alternate Current Radio, and clicking this little hamburger menu. And then down there, it says Discord server. Just click that and you'll be good to go. If you get lost when you're in there, just say, hi, I'm new here. We'll help you figure it out, okay? There's just a lot going on, but we'd love to have you there. And thanks so much for having me, Patrick. I'll leave everybody with my standard quote from Bill Cooper. May he rest in peace. Read everything, listen to everybody, but don't you believe anything unless you prove it for yourself using your own research.
Very good advice. Timeless advice, as always. Thank you, Ruckus. I just say I think this came out of our comments last week. I can't remember. The Daily Closet. That sounds familiar. Thanks, Patrick, Hesher, and Ruckus. Good news. Your paid subscription to Graham's newspaper, The Daily Closet, is on the way. I think is this happening? Apparently it's going to happen. The Daily Closet. I don't know. That one would be.
I heard volume 1's going to be called Out of the Closet with Steve Witkoff.
I think that would do well in Washington, D.C., probably. I just have a feeling that would be very popular.
Get the attendance back up at those bars where it dipped.
Yeah, the bars. Yeah. Doing geolocation tracking to see where they're all at, where they spend their leisure time. Yes, indeed. Well, it is a weird world, folks. It is a weird world. Lovely Sunday War. Thank you very much. Yes. Shout out to Trumpstein. I hear you. We hear you. Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. That is Hesher and Ruckus. Brian McLean, a.k.a. Hesher. Adam Clark, a.k.a. Ruckus. Yes, these are guys you want to follow on social media as well as at the Alternate Current Radio. Great community in the Discord server. As they said, it is a thriving community. That's one place you can go. If you're looking for like-minded people who see the world in the jaded way, but the very interesting and open-minded way in which we do at this program and at the other great shows there at ACR, that's a community that you want to link into. Hello to everybody in the 21st Century Wired chat. Appreciate you guys keeping it real, keeping it alive, energizing it. Look, we're gonna wrap this program up, and this is longer. We normally going just around or under 2 hours, so we've done extra because there's just you guys. You're being propagandized on such a level, and you're being skull plugged by all these people, and we're just doing a little bit of extra work this week because we want to make sure you're up to speed on this stuff. You can also watch me on UK Column News live on Friday, also on YouTube. You'll see that program there. I host with Mike Robinson. And Basil Valentine is also coming on regularly to give comment. So if you like Basil, you'll see him with me on Friday on UK Column News. And we're absolutely smashing it there as well. So great organization, great show. Yeah, Lindsey Graham's bobbleheads. Yeah, that'd be a good fundraiser, wouldn't it? Daily Closet. Listen, you guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And again, before we go, big shout out for everybody who has supported us and donated on the winter fundraising drive. And I'll put that up on screen once again before we go. We're going to update that dial. We're past the halfway mark, and we're surging right now. Even during this program, there's been a flood of donations. So again, we've seen some alerts coming through. So you guys, your generosity the last couple of weeks, you've really made it work for us. So it means that we're going to go into 2026 in a good, firm, strong position to do the things that we need to do to make sure this platform and all the various channels that 8 channels that we're managing on different platforms for 21st Century Wire. But the mothership is the most important, 21stcenturywire.com. And if you go there, you click on the donate button, it'll take you to options here. There's a lot of different ways you can support us. We'd love to see you all take out a membership at 21wire.tv. Support us regularly every week. I know that, or every month. I know a lot of you have done in the last couple of weeks. You guys, amazing. So that family, that community is growing, and that's our support network. We are absolutely a listener and viewer supported, reader supported outlet, independent media outlet. We've been going since late 2009, early 2010. So we're 15 years on. We have a 15-year anniversary probably in September, or be probably in the fall. So look forward to that. So yeah, we'll be here. We've been here. We're going to stay here. We're going to keep it going. And we need your help to do that and to add some new strings to our bow, which we've done over the last year. It's been very successful, and we're going to double up on those efforts in the coming months in 2026. So it's a crucial year for the world, and we'll be here to help you navigate it. It's the best we can do, and we appreciate you guys. We really do. That's all we've got time for. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. This has been a good Sunday Wire, and appreciate the engagement. We've had over 2,500 comments on the aggregate streams, which is a lot for the live stream. So yeah, thank you. It's been really good. Take care, you guys. All the best. We'll see you during the week and also next Sunday. All take care.
Bienvenido a acompañar esta tarde y no podría ser la excepción. El partido Fuerza, Fuerza. Fuerza, Fuerza. Se vive hoy. Se vive esta manifestación desde el corazón y las entrañas de un pueblo. Por eso hoy queremos recibir a ese líder, a ese caballero. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. That you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. That you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. Revolution. When you're tired of being just a commodity, you are the revolution. And when gaslit into another war, stand strong because you are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. They conspire against you, accuse you of terrorism, to steal your sovereignty. Hold fast, watch it collapse. Know that we still have the power. You are the revolution. They want to centralize, monopolize, control your thoughts. Breathe, go deep, go outside, put seeds in the ground. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. Alone. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution. You are not alone. Yes, my lady, and you're right on time.